Tennessee and Clemson are set to get after it in the Orange Bowl, little New Year's 6 action. I'll just say this to start. It is beautiful. You have two teams that wear the color orange that are playing in the Orange Bowl itself. Just poetic justice. Only college football, man. We love it. We love it so much. In a game like this, where the stage is big and the lights are bright, sometimes it is the supporting actors that have the biggest impact. So who are the X factors that you need to make sure you're watching like a hawk when it comes to this football game? Don't even worry about it, family. I got you. The first X factor I'm looking at, Brew McCoy. Tennessee's wide receiver, right around 6'3", 220 pounds, was recruited as a linebacker coming out of high school at Mater Dei in Southern California. But the reason why I perceive him to be an X factor, Tennessee will be without Jalen Hyatt. They'll be without Cedric Tillman. So what does that mean? You got to have somebody else step up, my guy. Just the way it goes. If you want to win a big game against Clemson, you got to make sure you win through the air. And Joe Milton will be playing on his first biggest game, that is, for Tennessee. Not the other games weren't big, but you hear what I'm saying. It's the Orange Bowl. Okay, there's high stakes in this game. And so when the pocket breaks down, when things get crazy, who are you looking for but your big body wide receiver, Brew McCoy? Can he make those contested catches? And can he be a true wide receiver one in this game? We've seen him do it before during the season when Cedric Tillman was still getting back to full health, and when they didn't have him available, Brew McCoy, some really good things on the field. But in this game specifically, I think you want Brew McCoy to be that guy for you. He's going to have to be. He's going to have to be that safety blanket of sorts for Joe Milton. Speaking of safety blankets, the next X factor that will be very much so an impact player in this game is Jake Brenningstool. 22 receptions, 4 touchdowns, 256 yards on the year. That's a really good stat line for a tight end. 6'6", 230 pounds. Like I said to intro into this whole conversation around Jake Brenningstool, the safety blanket. You're going to have a quarterback in Klubnik making his first real start for Clemson. Played a little bit in the ACC title game, more than a little bit. Played a lot of it, but they didn't start that game. This will be his first real start in the New Year's 6 Bowl. So same thing as we said with Joe Milton. When chaos arises, when things get a little bit crazy in the pocket, when you're rolling one way and look downfield, you look for your big play, your big body kind of target. And so can Jake Brenningstool be the guy that goes and high points the football like he has been all season long for Clemson? I think that's important. Remember this too. Tennessee's secondary, it's not been outstanding all year long. They're going to need to step up there if they want to have a chance to beat Clemson. But for Klubnik, the work will be cut out for him, and Jake Brenningstool will be a place that he looks early and often, especially in the red zone. That's where Clemson likes to utilize him. So especially on third and goal, or maybe it's off play action and you got a shot at the pylon and Jake Brenningstool is running that corner route. Can he go and convert for you? Very interested to see how he gets utilized. So those two safety blankets, I think, will have a big impact as X factors in this football game. If you haven't yet subscribed, man, we love to have you at the party. Bowl season turning up the heat. We're going to predict this game here very, very soon. Going to break it all down for you. Make sure you're locked into the On3 YouTube channel. The Hard Count. We got content for you every single day. College football, 12-month-a-year sport. We cover it accordingly. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JD Pakel to stay up with everything we're doing. A lot of interaction there. Okay, it's a great medium for us to keep this party rolling as we tend to do. Another X factor I'm looking at. Looking at the field, that's great. The players, very much so important. The Jimmies and Joes, not just the X's and the O's. But the X factor I'm looking at in this game, off the field, is Brandon Streeter, offensive coordinator for Clemson. And the reason why I'm looking at him so closely is because his job will be to make Klubnik as comfortable as possible. You say, JD, you're talking about Klubnik a lot in this game. Is he not your X factor? Well, an X factor by definition is a individual who isn't necessarily in that spotlight quite as much. So Klubnik, not an X factor. Brandon Streeter is an X factor. Can he call a game to get him confident, to get him comfortable? Because it'll be bright lights, big stage, raucous crowd, all that. Can you settle him in? The way that you call this game for Klubnik will dictate the success that you have as an offense. Because if you go out there and you just say, all right, 4 verts, my guy, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but the recipe for success, I think, is a little bit more, hey, work in the quick game, have good communication back and forth. What do you like, Cade? What do you feel good about calling? Okay, we're going to call some more runs to get you comfortable. We're going to call a little bit more quarterback design runs to get you a little bit of contact early in the game so you're comfortable. Like that kind of rhythm, I think, is crucial for Cade Klubnik. Who's responsible for the rhythm? Brandon Streeter, OC for Clemson. So keep an eye on that. I think how this game is called, especially early, will tell us a lot about the game flow and what kind of game Tennessee has to play to answer to win this game, or whether it's Clemson being able to control the tempo. Should be a whole lot of fun, though. Last X factor I'm watching, how about the defensive side of things? Tennessee safety Jalen McCullough is top 5 on the team in tackles. They ask a lot of him in run support, so he'll have an impact there. You better make sure you bring your hard hat and lunch pail there, because Will Shipley's coming downhill. Phil Maffa coming downhill. Some bad dudes. Jalen McCullough will be responsible for the confidence of Cade Klubnik to a degree. Now, what do I mean by that? The safety position in football is, on the offensive side of things at least, the most keyed upon position. So if I'm Cade Klubnik, I'm looking at what Jalen McCullough is doing pre-snap. Okay, is he rolling down to be in run support? Is he just single high sitting back there? Is he out in the flat? Where is he lined up at? And so why I harp so much on Jalen McCullough at the safety position, if they can confuse Cade Klubnik and make him feel like he's looking at one thing or seeing one thing and he's actually seeing another, if you can cause him to second guess himself by how you align as a safety and how you play, that's going to really make things tricky for Clemson to get some rhythm, and would be a huge advantage to Tennessee. Like we talked about earlier in the show, for Tennessee, the secondary's kind of been talked about a lot this year. Not kind of. It has been talked about a lot this year. It's no secret that they've kind of been the Achilles heel at points in times. There's that word kind of again. Kind of true. So if they can answer the call to action, starting with Jalen McCullough, that's going to be a really big deal in this game. A lot of this X factor talk hinges around the quarterback positions for both programs. For Clemson, Cade Klubnik making his first start, Joe Milton making another start that is a still fairly new role for him, being starting quarterback for Tennessee. So which of these can you support? Which of these can you make confused? That's going to dictate the way that this game shakes out. So to recap it a little bit for you, the safety blankets, wide receiver Brew McCoy for Tennessee and tight end Jake Brenningstool for Clemson. What kind of role do they have? To put it even more simply, how effective are they in their role? Because that will have a big impact on how this game plays out. Brandon Streeter, can you get your quarterback comfortable? He's a freshman. Was at prom not that long ago. Now you're throwing him the keys to the program, throwing him the keys to the offense. Can you get him comfortable? Can you get him settled in? Allow him to feel confident? If you can, advantage Clemson. If not, Jalen McCullough, the other X factor, safety for Tennessee, is going to be able to confuse him, be able to potentially turn him over once, maybe twice. Like that would be a world that definitely favors Tennessee and could really cause some things to get dicey on the Clemson side of things. So those are the X factors. We're going to break this game down and predict it here in the near future. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're locked in. I promise you, we're going to have our pick in this game for you here in no time at all. But if you haven't yet subscribed, now's the time. We've had a ton of the Clemson faithful, a ton of the Tennessee faithful join us this season. We're so glad you're at the party. We're so glad you're here. And if you haven't, no time like the present. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram at JD Piquel. Nick, break lifting heavy, y'all. This is your show. I'll leave it at that. No more to be said. We're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.